Welcome to Dateline Lagos. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Schools reopened for second term in spite of the COVID-19 pandemic. Governor Sanwo-Olu allocates over 90 billion naira to the transportation sector and the celebration of Armed Forces Remembrance Day, and over 1,000 constabulary officers boost community policing in Lagos. And that's our program this week. On the starting point, the nation is indeed experiencing the second wave of COVID-19. Lagos, the epicenter, has taken a bold step to reopen its schools for the second term academic session. Let's see the safety measures put in place by the state government.
In Lagos State, students of primary and secondary schools resume for the second term. They're welcomed with COVID-19 protocols to ensure their safety. They have even been taught a song to remind them of the new normal.
Wash your hands with soap and water. Sanitize your hands every time.
The State Commissioner for Education takes a tour to some of the schools to ensure that laid-down guidelines are followed.
Wash your hands frequently under running water. It's important that it is running water.
But how sustainable is the use of face masks for students?
All the teachers are on ground, ensuring that no plugging together, social distancing anywhere, either outside or inside the classroom. That's why we have 30 in a class. No hugging. We have told them the implication of COVID-19. It's not that they hate them, but just to avoid unnecessary illnesses.
Even though safety protocols have been put in place, some parents express fear.
I just brought my son. I want to register him in SS1 class. So we are here for the registration. I've told him you are no more a kid. You have to take care of yourself and make sure you are safe. If it's a smaller, if my little babies, I can't allow them to go to school now. They can't go now. My grandchildren, they can't go now. But this one is grown up. He's about 17. He's an adult.
So I have two of my kids in Alimosho Grammar School, secondary school, going to SS1. And I'm here to register the two of them into SS1. And I feel if we abide by the rules and regulations of Lagos State, we should be able to cope with it and make sure we provide the necessary requirements for our kids, the preventive methods necessary, like your sanitizer, face mask, and make sure they distance themselves and lecture them regularly on how to maintain that distance. And then coming back home, they should also take that same preventive method, having their bath and changing their clothes, washing their uniforms and other stuffs.
And the Commissioner for Education gives an assurance that all schools will be monitored to ensure that they are kept safe.
If you watch well, our quality assurance team are here. That's one of them. That's their shirt. That means that we are not going to leave the schools alone. We are going to keep coming around. We are going to keep holding meetings. We are going to keep talking to them. We are going to keep encouraging them. I talk a lot because I know this thing. They find it uncomfortable. It is. You're uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. But like I keep asking, is it better to be uncomfortable and alive? Isn't it? So let's cope with the discomfort. So I think we just have to keep on reinforcing the message, insisting that no mask, no entry. You saw the children who are asked to leave school, those who are SS2 students who just wanted to come to school. So they said no, SS2 is tomorrow because we have staggered resumption.
From all indications, teachers, parents and the government all have their work cut out to ensure that the children keep safe while in school and at home.
From the schools to the public transportation system, and changes by government to make it faster and more efficient.
Commuting in Lagos and arriving at your destination in time is a big deal for residents. The former administration saw the need for a better transportation system and initiated the Oshodi bus interchange. Early 2019, this was what the Ikeja bus terminal looked like, but now the story is different.
The bus service is very good. The interior is comfortable, it's more convenient. The air conditioning system is working fine. What I find very exciting about this is the Wi-Fi. When you enter, you have Wi-Fi, you can browse as you go. Then you have USB charger in the bus. And then I see the orderliness, the cleanness and everything. The only thing I want to suggest is that you keep this standard so that it doesn't fall. What we experienced with BRT was when they started okay. But as time went on, they started sliding back. Now, it's not what it used to be. That's one. Again, you have to increase the number of buses so that people will not have to wait too long at the bus stop. You keep this up and it is fine. This one edifies the face of Lagos. It helps the corporate image of this state.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is towing the line of continuity, and for these times, the terminal is running in compliance with COVID-19 protocols. To reduce physical contact and the exchange of cash, an e-ticketing card is launched for the bus rapid transit system. The governor highlights the purpose of the card.
We are not allowing COVID-19 to have slowed us down. We indeed have not allowed COVID-19 to delay on the promises that we have given our citizens. We have ensured that within the timelines that we can bring this project to completion and we can hand it over to our citizens. We know that what we're about is about improvement of journey experience and journey time. The journey from Oshodi to Abule Egba typically takes about an hour and a half because of the massive gridlocks we have and the vehicular density on that corridor. But with this bus rapid system, which we believe will be carrying between 60,000 to 80,000 passengers per day, but once we see that there's a higher need, we'll provide more buses. We're bringing together an experience where we will be using a single means of transportation, which will be our card. We'll have a contact card. You can touch its contact when you're boarding on the bus, and when you're leaving, make sure you also touch it so that it can give you a proper fare and calculation. The eventual deliverable will be that this same card will be used on our train, will eventually also be used on our waterways.
The bus rapid transit system is obviously improving the mode of road transportation across the state, making travel time faster.
Still on transportation, the Lagos State government is determined to continue an aggressive development and maintenance of infrastructure. For this reason, over 90 billion naira has already been allocated for the sector.
Traffic management and transportation takes the lead in the theme's agenda of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, which perhaps explains why the sector has over 92 billion naira allocation in the 2021 budget. The State Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget at a briefing explains that the funds will cater for more developmental projects.
We have also finalized the financing for Red Line. When we came, we knew the Red Line, the rail lines are going to be projects of great audacity. We had looked at our balance sheet. We knew it would be a challenge to carry rail construction on top of that balance sheet. But with the ingenuity of the leadership of the government, supported by the team, the Honorable Finance and myself, and other members of cabinet who supported in the approval of the structure, we were able to close a bespoke structure, single-digit 7-year money, to take on the Red Line. The Red Line is a 24-kilometer project, I think, coming all the way to Marina. It will stop first at Oyingbo and then take us from Agbado to Oyingbo and then to Marina. When that project is complete, it's going to have about, I think, 10 bus stations, about 8 bridges, and 13 pedestrian bridges. So it's a very big project. It's going to move like 22.5 million people monthly, and it's going to reduce the travel time from Agbado to Marina from 2.45 hours to about 45 minutes. That is savings of about 28 million man-hours. And this is about improving the productivity, really, of our people.
For those who care to know what the state government has in stock for motorcycles, the Commissioner for Transportation says they are not included in the Smart City Development Plan.
LPS level buses that will now feed our feeder routes into the major one. The last mile will take the role of Okadas as well as Keke Napep. So they'll be going into the community and bringing people out from the community to the network. So very soon we'll be rolling out about 2,000 of these buses, and over time we'll increase them. So it's very important that we also use technology to make it attractive. We're going to be using technology to drive enforcement, and that's very important. Very soon we're launching the handheld cameras, which LASMA will be using just to ensure that people that violate the traffic laws are prosecuted. We don't have to stop them on the road, and in doing so cause more congestion. So they will receive the ticket in their homes, and then they will receive a fine, and then they can go to the various banks or wherever it's designated for them to pay.
What's a transport system without roads? The state government is willing to invest over 167 billion naira for roadworks and infrastructure. Residents have been asked to believe in the government they voted for in order to enjoy the dividend of democracy.
As Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu marks the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, he also paid a condolence visit to the family of the late Rear Admiral Ndubisi Kanu, assuring them of giving the former military governor of the state a befitting burial.
Just before the Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu meets with the Nigerian Legion at the Lagos House in Marina.
Service has been slated for Friday.
And in keeping faith with his promises of better welfare for servicemen, the governor announces a donation of 5 million naira.
We will continue to ensure that we can bring about succor, we can bring relief to the very gallant officers and men that have served this country at one point in time or the other. We will realize that you've served the country at your prime age, and to the extent that God is still giving a whole lot of you energy, the least we can do is to continue to support you and ensure that even the families of the fallen heroes are also not completely forgotten. So you can be rest assured that we will continue to do that. And for this year's launch, since we did a launch of 1 million last year, this year we'll do a launch of 5 million naira. Thank you very much.
His next port of call is the Armed Forces Remembrance Day Parade. It's a solemn event as the Nigerian Army, Air Force, Navy and the Legion gather to honor the nation's fallen heroes. Governor Sanwo-Olu makes his way to the Tafawa Balewa Square, venue of the event, and inspects the Guard of Honor. In the usual tradition, the wreath is laid, pigeons are released, and a pat on the back to all military officers for breaking the odds in spite of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I think it's been also a testimonial, and it's a yearly ritual that we're thankful to God that we can still keep this year's activity as important as it is. We're still able to observe all of the protocols, and you can see that everything has gone very, very well.
Then the governor, his deputy and some cabinet members joined the family of the late former military governor of the state, Rear Admiral Ndubisi Kanu, at his residence to pay a condolence visit.
But the truth is, without that letter, we know.
The deputy governor goes down memory lane, highlighting his legacy.
What we benefit today in Lagos, Rear Admiral Ndubisi Kanu was one of those that laid the pillar of this state as a military governor, and most importantly, his contribution to what we are now benefiting in this country today, democracy. Because if people like him were in short supply, this country will not be like this. So people like him, even though there are not many, but they stood firm. They went through all sorts of terrible things. but they were good men. So for us in Lagos, we celebrate his life because we know that only God will live forever. And that we as human beings, we will come and go. But what is important is what did you do with your life?
The state government then assures the Kanu family that the government will play the lead role in funding the burial ceremony.
The state has identified a four-man committee that can work with the family from tomorrow, wherever. We'll drop their names so that we can have, our own full imprint. He's a man that I personally have come to respect. He's a man that has supported our government from day one. He's a man that I personally respect, not because he's no more with us, but he has been to my office on 2 occasions, and all of our events, he's been a pillar that we see. He's completely detribalized. He's a builder, and he's a brother across the Niger. So he's, like you said, he's a true, real Nigerian that we all need to celebrate. So that's why we're here, humbly, for and on behalf of the government and people of Lagos State, to say and to reassure you that the state is solidly beside you, in also this time of grief, and to express, our condolences once again, and to say that whatever you would want us to, because we want you to lead, but we are right beside you to ensure, and other stakeholders, because it's not just a man for one part, it's a national figure, and other stakeholders to ensure that we immortalize and we give him a befitting, passage of exit out of this world.
According to the Lagos State government, the late Rear Admiral Kanu is one of the nation's heroes that must be honored and is determined to match words with action.
Dear Lagosians, the second wave of the deadly coronavirus pandemic is here. Its new strain is easily transmitted and deadlier. Coronavirus symptoms are fever, dry cough, tiredness, difficulty in breathing. We can all prevent the spread of this virus through appropriate and regular use of face masks, avoiding close contact with people who are at high risk, washing our hands regularly with soap and running water, especially after visiting the toilet, before eating, and after coughing or sneezing, using alcohol-based hand sanitizer, maintaining at least 1.5 meters or 5 feet distance from anyone coughing or sneezing, covering our mouths with tissue while coughing or sneezing, and brushing the tissue. If you feel unwell and show symptoms of coronavirus, or you notice anyone who does, please call the Lagos State Emergency Hotlines 08000 ECOMED or 0803 33 56 5529. Many are dead. Don't fall victim or die in ignorance. Report now. Together, we will overcome this challenge. Igbega Ipinle Eko, Ajumoshini, Lagos State Government, announcer.
And the call for community policing has been on the front burner for a very long time. Now, over 1,000 constabulary officers are to secure lives and property across the state.
This is the first batch of personnel trained for the Community Police Special Constabulary Initiative in Lagos. They are drawn from all the 20 local government and 37 local development council areas of the state for 1 month intensive training in policing to ensure security of lives and property. The Lagos State government could not have been left out of this occasion, and the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Tayo Ayinde, takes part in the passing out parade. Security agents, the religious body as well as the traditional rulers are well represented here, and they give assurance of their support.
We are ready to be invited for meetings, and we will partner with the Commissioner of Police and ensure that we have a better secure environment. It's when we do that we can continue to live in peace, because peace is not the absence of war, but the presence of justice. So once again, the Christian community congratulates the Commissioner, the Inspector General of Police, and everyone that have made this possible, including our President.
A message for the selected officers taking on the battle.
You must understand that you have been recruited to perform a very important job, which is about improving on the existing security architecture and making it more effective. Your major responsibility is to support the operation of the State Police Command through the provision of credible and timely intelligence on activities within the community which might result in perpetration of crime and threats to security of life and property. In carrying out your responsibility, it is very important that you operate within the operational guidelines that have been given to you. In recognition of the importance attached to the duty you have been recruited to perform, I want to assure you that the state government will accord your welfare priority. We will also provide everything that you will require to carry out your assignment most effectively and efficiently.
The State Commissioner of Police warns personnel not to deviate from their rules of engagement.
They don't have the power to start a case and end a case. They are just to give us intelligence information. And all those things now will be subjected to our normal procedure. So there's no room for any politician to use them because they are not going to work for any politician. They are working for police in the community. When we need any information, we call them on. When they need any information, they don't give to any informant, they don't give any politician. And they are not under the control of any politician. They are under the rules and regulations of guiding police officers. And that shall apply to the letter.
Policy of the various.
This seems to be a welcome idea from different quarters, but not without some caution.
The need to secure Lagos, to secure Nigeria, cannot be overemphasized. And I urge the graduates to be dutiful after acquiring this training, to interlink, to link up with the police and other security agencies to ensure that Lagos State is more secured, and Nigeria by extension.
Yeah, we feel happy that what we have been saying, that the police alone cannot do policing without the community. And that is the essence of peace housing, ab initio. However, the government has come to realize that now and establishing community policing officers in the community to work with the police, of course, in tandem with the PSRC, to make sure that you cannot bring in policemen who does not understand the culture, who does not understand the language, who does not understand the thinking, who does not have the problem of the community. So now we are back into real policing that should be, and we thank God for it. PSRC and other resident association and co will now work in tandem with the police to make sure that we have peace now.
They've been trained for the task, equipped and share the same uniforms as the police. However, the key variants to look out for includes the badge, name tag and police constabulary boldly inscribed on their chest as they continue to assist the police in fighting crime across the state.
He's from the two states.
Lagosians, we are recording more cases of the deadly COVID-19 pandemic every day. The second wave is spreading like wildfire in our communities. It is deadlier, spreads faster, and kills faster. Our isolation centers are getting filled up and more patients are on oxygen. More people are dying and the young ones are not left out. You don't need to die in ignorance or arrogance and foolishness. Observe all the precautions. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water. If you don't have access to water and soap, please use an alcohol-based sanitizer. Use your face mask properly and regularly. If you have to go out or be in public, avoid large crowds. Observe social distance always. Do not hug. If it's not important, stay at home. Most common symptoms include fever, dry cough or tiredness, aches and pains, sore throat, loss of taste or smell. Serious symptoms include shortness of breath, chest pain or loss of speech. Should you have any of these symptoms or know someone who does, please call the 24/7 Eco Telemed toll-free line on 0800 035 6633. We must take responsibility for our health and lives. We must fight coronavirus by being responsible. Please observe all precautions. The second wave of coronavirus is killing faster than you can imagine. Stay safe. Be responsible. Don't waste your life. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, Àjùmọ̀ṣe, Lagos State Government announcer.
And that's where we draw the curtain on the program, Dateline Lagos. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. See you next week.